And so we have arrived. Khyber Pass Podcast. Approaching or passing number 10. Exploring improvisers. One-on-one conversations. Musicians that have shared themselves on the podcast with me, your host, Paul Metzger. This week, we have tenor saxophonist Chris Weller out of Chicago. We caught him and his duo partner, Dave King, drummer, on the inaugural performance of their tour at the Khyber Pass Cafe, a special Tuesday evening show. I'll present a short excerpt from the concert and move through to the interview with Chris. As usual, this podcast is made possible by the generous support of the Khyber Pass Cafe on Grant Avenue, St. Paul. They invite you to visit them. And their Afghan menu. Lamb, chutneys, wonderful chai, and a beautiful wine and beer menu. Khyber Pass Cafe, Grand Avenue, St. Paul, Minnesota. Without lapsing further, I'll present this week's episode. I hope you'll enjoy it.
Welcome, Chris Weller.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thanks for having me.
All right. So, you're out of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
That's your home zone? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Oak Park, which borders the west
Yeah.
side of Chicago, but for lack of, I guess, context, Chicago's easier to say. So.
Yeah, it's real easy. Except some people, Chicago.
True.
What is that?
Honestly, I have no idea. I think
Okay.
that just depends where you're from.
So you've heard that, though. People go, oh, yeah, Chicago.
Yeah, I think part of that, I don't know if that's like the proper Chicago accent, but there are a lot of different accents, you know. I know plenty of people that say that, though,
Yeah.
among other things.
Man, I'll tell you, one thing still happening is the record store scene in Chicago is great, I think.
Oh, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
I haven't been too lately to a lot of the downtown record stores. It seems like the general scene has been doing really well, honestly, which is really nice to see. It seems like there's a lot of attention on a lot of the Chicago players and groups coming out of the city right now, you know.
Well, that's huge, man.
Yeah. But I think part of that's due to the success of a newer label called International Anthem in Chicago. They're putting out a lot of great stuff.
What's
Beautiful
their
aesthetics.
focus?
I just think interesting music, really. I think.
So they're not like jazz or...
Well, I mean, no, they're definitely not just jazz. You know, I think improvised music, progressive music, you know, stuff that has a foot in a lot of different things.
Okay,
You know?
yeah. That
So,
sounds great.
Yeah, it's nice to see, honest. You know,
Yeah.
some love.
Yeah, no shit. Comes and goes, but when it
Yeah.
comes around, it's pretty great.
Yeah, well, there have definitely been swells, you know. I mean, I feel like you go through these periods, like when Fred Anderson and Von Freeman were alive, they supported the scene a ton, and then, you know, some clubs closed down, and then, you know, Fred and Von passed, their clubs closed down.
Yeah.
But in a way that kind of forces people to regroup, you
Yeah.
know, and reconnect and figure out how to keep things pushing forward, and then new things open, and new series begin, and, you know, so it's kind of...
Yeah.
I guess it is what it is, but...
Yeah. It's a crapshoot, man. Who's going to step up?
Well,
That's the thing, man. Who's got it, you know,
That's
because
the
it's
truth.
thankless and you labor of love to run that fucking game, you know, but
Yeah.
thanks a lot for coming and playing tonight with Dave King. You have a standing kind of duo with him.
I mean, yeah, thank you for having us. Dave and I have an interesting relationship, which kind of stemmed from him producing one of my trio's records. And then I have a booking agency that I started with my wife. And so we began booking his projects outside of the Bad Plus, and now we manage the Bad Plus. And then, you know, now Dave and I play every now and then as a duo, so it's kind of all over the place.
I got it.
But it's
yeah.
great. You know,
yeah.
all of it's great. So
Yeah.
he's the man.
So you guys cross a lot of lines all over the place. I get it.
Uncle Dave. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'd like to hear about sort of your beginnings, and then like way back when you're before, like you're a kid, yeah. You don't play an instrument yet.
Okay, you're talking way back.
I'm talking way back. I'm interested in what happens. You know, like you take a kid, something happens, and music becomes like locked in. I'm interested in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think the music and the improvisation are initially are separate. I think the improvisation, when you go way back, can be, you know, that crosses boundaries into, I think, just into creativity, you know, and imagination.
I'm talking more about just like an instrument or the voice. Like what like your first moves are, like for a lot of people would be like school band. Their
Sure,
parents
yeah,
played a
yeah.
lot of albums, or
Mhm.
you know, where just the first embers of what that is, because
Totally. I mean, I kind of had my ups and downs getting into music. I always enjoyed music, but and we'd listen to music in the house or in the car or whatever, running errands. I started on clarinet purely because one of my best friends that I also looked up to, he was like a year older. He was in the grade ahead, and so he took clarinet up, of course. And I really liked it, but at the same time, I didn't really necessarily have the focus to practice,
is this like
appropriately
middle
all the time.
school, or were
Yeah, like fourth grade,
Yeah.
And so I would play certain things. It'd be kind of hit or miss. I took up drums. I loved it, but again, didn't really have the, I guess, focus
So
and
was
interest
drums
in
also
practicing.
in school?
No, that was just outside of school. And my parents were like, well, it'd be great if you did something, or, it's hard,
Yeah.
it gets you practicing. And so eventually
So what? They got you a fucking kit?
Yeah, I started drum lessons, and then we picked up like a, or whatever kit for, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
and,
I see it.
And gave that a shot
Yeah.
unsuccessfully, and then I landed on the saxophone. When I tried the saxophone, my mom was also smart. She got me a Charlie Parker album, and so that
Okay.
was kind of the main thing, and then I just kind of
So
played
you
all
picked
the
up
time.
like an alto?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like this is like a lot of people, they get an alto, they get a Charlie Parker record, and then they go, do whatever they're going to do. I feel like that's a vibe. So
Yeah, it's interesting the start, like, and the connection to school is such a common thread to
Oh, for sure,
most
yeah.
of the cats I'm talking to, and it's interesting, like one of the more sort of threatened components of public school.
Yeah, tell me
It's-
about it.
And then seeing what in a I don't know why it does that. That's good. Can't remember what I was saying now.
No, I mean,
I
yeah,
was
it's
intrigued,
interesting
but I
that
think-
a lot of people, I think, nowadays it's so common that you begin music in school,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I guess, that's not bad, it has its pros and cons. I think it's great that kids get exposed to music when they're younger. I think the system, generally speaking, has a lot of, especially as you get older, pros and cons, and,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
So you get to saxophone by the time you're like what?
7th or 8th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you got a little wind in you.
Yeah, yeah.
You can-
And I was a shorty too. I was the smallest
Yeah?
kid in my class until I was
Okay.
like a senior in high school.
Okay.
So yeah, it definitely took me a while, but
Yeah. And then, what's happening? Like Charlie Parker is part of it. And then, are you exploring that side of things as far as like who else plays a saxophone, or what else do people do with the saxophone, or where was it mostly school related?
Yes and no. I definitely pretty much immediately tried to organize like small little groups that could play, jazz tunes or jazz standard repertoire.
Oh, so you wanted to put together smaller, like,
I just wanted
little
to
quartets
play
and
with other
shit?
people.
yeah, I love that, man.
Now I don't want to play with anybody, especially.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll grab drums when you're done. How long do you guys have?
15. Is that cool?
I don't even remember what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was
Oh, yeah,
wondering,
playing with
as
other
far as playing with other people, and so you wanted to put that together in a smaller context. What was
that's
that
all
like?
that I could do, because I only had like one or two friends that could that had the interest in that, where they're like trying to play tunes and stuff, and so then we'd do that, and then you get a little older. I was like a freshman in high school, there's like a high school band, not
Yeah.
like band in school, but like of
A band.
A band that like some other kids had started.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and then just trying to play and.
Yeah. So you just want to be part of something that's happening just so you can play more? Is that?
I mean, yeah, and it was never necessarily. I didn't want to join like a bunch of other people's bands. I was just happy to play in whatever capacity. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you get through high school, yeah?
Barely, yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I got through high school.
And then what happens with you music-wise? Like,
I definitely went through phases. I mean, I went through high school, and I had a great teacher that kind of, I think he indulged my creativity. He was also Ted Hogarth. He was very flexible, and honestly, he was nice to put up with me often not doing any of the things he asked me to. But I would listen to really like Joe Lovano for like 3 or 4 years and almost nobody else, and so he's a super creative person, and and then I saw Pharoah Sanders in person, and then that kind of like changed me. And then I went through the Coltrane phase, and then I go into college, and so it's kind of like really starting to dive more into improvisation and I guess, my own personal voice and whatever that means, and experimenting.
So what did college mean for you? Were you doing like music degree, or were you?
Yeah, I went to Berklee. I got a saxophone performance degree. In retrospect, that's kind of goofy.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. The system now is, looking back, I mean, and I've had conversations with kids going to college about, do you really need to go to a university to study an instrument? Because I think what happens now a lot of times is it's actually, it's encouraged that kids do this, and then they either get the degree or don't, but whenever they're done, they have this huge boatload of debt.
Yeah,
that nobody actually talks to them about. And so I've had conversations with people about like, well, you could actually probably study with these people, just one-on-one for way less money than, and maybe learn some of the same stuff. So I don't know. Anyway,
So looking back on it, you're not as convinced?
I feel like the system is, I'm torn. I think it just is what it is, I think, honestly, looking back, I don't know if I would embrace the system again, but I am where I am because I went there, and I'm happy with my life, so, whatever.
Yeah. So it worked.
I don't know, ask my wife, yeah.
All right, is she here?
No.
So what about, so you're still on alto, or by that time had you...
No, I switched to tenor. I did like a little bit of alto, a little bit of Barry, and then pretty much mostly tenor.
And that was happening in the college
in high school.
world? Oh, in high school.
Yeah.
By the time you went to Berklee...
Just tenor.
It was all tenor.
So.
All tenor all the time.
Yes, of course.
That's a lot of focus.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it was great. And so, I guess I started to experiment with improvisation in different ways and different styles, and I think your ears open up, although I don't think I really worked as much on the ear training part of things until after college.
So
which
as
is
far
really
as
when
like
things opened up.
transcribing stuff on your own, that wasn't part
I
of it?
transcribed some stuff. I just went through like a heavy Coltrane phase where, I feel like I started in this very flexible, loose, creative territory when I was in high school. And then I kind of dialed things in and boxed myself in by really trying to play inside of, chord changes, whatever, in like a very traditional manner.
Yeah.
Like 50s, 60s kind of whatever.
What drew you to that as a...
I just think I liked how it sounded, and I just wanted to be able to connect certain things together. I mean, part of it I think is just being able to make a cohesive statement. And so I don't know. I mean, also I just really thought that Coltrane was the shit, and I liked what he was doing, and I liked the different periods, but I was trying to understand the different stuff. So, and then. so I went through like this really inside phase, and then I just took it all the way outside. You know.
When did you go outside?
I just started to like freely improvise with people. You know.
But I mean, while you were still in college
Yeah.
at Berklee?
Oh, yeah. When did I? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I guess the end of college more or less.
That's a
that was
huge
pretty
shift, man. If you're, I think.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. I mean, and definitely I was doing kind of all of it at the same time. But,
Sure.
you know, I really enjoyed just shutting the lights off and going to town, you know.
So were you listening then to free players at that point? Or what, as far as improvisation, and, you know, there are different ways of being out.
Yeah, I mean,
Just wondering.
I guess yes and no. I definitely, like, yeah, to a degree. You know, I started to study a little bit with Bob Moses, who's a drummer out in the New England area.
Okay.
And he really opened me up to, you know, just to listening to people that you're playing with.
Yeah.
And, you know, what it means to play with another person, and also just, like, get out of my head. And
Yeah.
so I just think that's just an approach to life, and you know, how to be a better musician if you're playing with another person, you know. So I guess, you know, I listened to a lot of his stuff, you know. I was listening to a lot of different kinds of music, so.
Sure. Like what? What would some of the stuff be that was?
Well, honestly, and a
getting
lot
to
of
you?
it I feel like I was exposed to by my roommates, which was a really great part of being, you know, in that area. I don't know, like Brazilian music or like percussion. I don't know, some rock, jazz. But you know, I mean, there's so many different genre. You can call them genres of jazz, or like, you know, elements there. And you know, and much more. Some whatever, you know, really whatever was going on. So.
And you were kind of feeling it all in general. It sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, more or less. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so from playing inside tunes, yeah, standards,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Went through that. Yeah.
and then the outside phase, what is that like? That's in combo with other players, or
What is it like now, or then? You mean?
from then till now?
Oh,
yeah.
well, I mean, I guess both. You know. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I would say I had, you know, specific people that, and I still do, I guess, you know, that I valued and value playing with, and so we would develop our own rapport. We'd write songs, we'd play other people's songs, or we'd improvise, or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So learning a lot that way. Now I actually also enjoy just playing by myself, and I've worked on some solo repertoire, but also just playing, you know, I think by yourself you learn a lot.
Have you played out by yourself much? Just solo?
A decent amount. I mean, that's something that I would love to do a lot more of, honestly, but I guess just navigating, you know, there aren't enough hours in the day to do everything, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's such a different discipline.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a goal. I guess we'll
Yeah.
see where that happens. And honestly, a lot of that's like, I kind of go half and half between like, it's actually like very thought out, or just like completely not thought out. I might have, you know, some concepts, but, you know, so doing both even solo, I feel like is, you know, it's a cool vibe.
Yeah. And you have recordings that you've made in
I
that
I
zone?
mean, yeah, I have voice memos. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any, you know, recordings that I put out or anything, but
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm so interested in that difference, you know, of like in combo and then not. Just
Oh, yeah.
solo. It's such a world of difference. The
Totally.
conversation is gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I find myself usually attracted to smaller groups, you know, more intimate setting. Not sure if that's
What's we got
correct,
for
or-
tonight?
Yeah, right. And honestly, a lot of just drum saxophone duos. That's
Yeah.
been even since college. One of my roommates was a drummer, one of my good friends, and honestly, he's taught me a lot. You know. And I think you learn a lot just from playing one-on-one with someone, and
Yeah.
especially if you have a good connection with someone and you develop a rapport and you work on things.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know,
That's
so.
huge. So, drummers usually for you then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, honestly, for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it'd be nice to, I guess, branch out a little bit more, but
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy that territory.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you guys do tonight in that territory.
Me too, yeah.
And then just, I guess we'll wrap it up, but a question I like to ask, but maybe it's, it's so tricky. But just when, let's say you're at the point of performing solo, let's
Mhm.
say, something freely improvised or loosely organized.
Mhm.
Where are you in your mind and your feelings and stuff when you're about to step into that world? You know what I mean? Of
I just think, I mean, you mean like right the moment before you begin
yeah,
playing?
like you're
I mean, I think that the people that do it really well are already inside of the music before they begin playing. You know, like getting the vibe together. Although at the same time, honestly, I guess I take that back because people could also just like begin and just go to town. You know?
yeah.
But I guess that's just the ability to instantly become sensitive to, you know, what's going on and the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I try to usually take a minute before I begin. You
Yeah.
know, not like 60 seconds, but
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, the hip minute
yes, precisely. Yeah.
to kind of get your headspace right.
Yeah, or, and I guess get the ears tuned in, you know,
Yeah.
so that it's not just random necessarily, although I guess that'd be another concept.
Sure.
But I'd like to play a lot from what I'm hearing, so.
Yeah, yeah. It's so much. It can often be so much parallels with meditation,
Mm-hmm.
and so much of the same language I hear from people,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's interesting. Have you thought about that, or have
Oh,
you?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's a connection, and I have meditated for a long time and still do. And I also think, yeah, I mean, I see that relationship, and part of it's like breath, part of it is just, you know, I guess clearing your mind or allowing it to clear itself, you know, effortlessly. And so either way, it's you tuning into a vibe and letting it happen, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So at this point, I think we can wrap up.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and let you guys get ready to do your thing.
Awesome.
But thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to me, and looking forward to hear you guys.
Of course. Thanks, Paul.
All right,
Appreciate it.
cool.
And so we attain terminal velocity. Having journeyed through the concepts and meanings, history of musicianship, improvisation, ingredients, mysteries, motivations, the ties that bind. Many of our guests have cited early middle school as an important time for the introduction to musical instruments for them. For some, there is little to no interest in the academic pursuit. Many ways converge at improvisation. at a time, away from the page, unscripted. There are pitfalls along the way. It's a famously narrow path. I hope this week was enjoyable for you, perhaps an insight or two. And thank you very much for listening. On behalf of the Khyber Pass Cafe, Chris Weller, Amal Sherzad, I am your host, Paul Metzger. And I'll say goodbye until next time.